might need. "Just a meet," Kane murmured. "Said to expect him in a few hours. He has a few things he has to take care of first." Jazz grunted at the information and took a drink of the beer, his gaze once again scanning the area. "We'll see," he finally answered, catching the surprise that flickered in Kane's gray eyes. "Tell him I'd like to know where he was when Slade was in New York and we needed his help. He was nowhere to be found." Slade was one of Jazz's brothers, the eldest, the one who had nearly lost his life and the life of his young son while working in D.C. Jazz hadn't appreciated the lack of help when he'd called for it, and he'd sworn then that should Cord need him, then it would just suck for the other man. Kane nodded slowly. "He said you'd be pissed over that. Said to tell you he was chasing a ghost, and he owes you. This meat isn't for him. It's to repay that debt." Chasing a ghost. Jazz froze for a heartbeat of time, some warning sensation rushing through his senses. There was only one ghost he and Cord Maddox could have had in common, and chasing after her was impossible, unless Cord had figured out how to visit the dead. The information that this meeting was repayment for being unavailable when he'd been needed was interesting, though. What could the other man have that Jazz would consider valuable enough to cancel that debt? "I'll be around," Jazz told the other man shortly. "Tell him to find me. That's not an agreement, just a willingness to listen. You hear?" "I hear you," Kane nodded. Finishing the beer, Jazz tossed the bottle in the trash can tucked into the corner of the pickup's bed. "If he's playing games, though, he'll regret it." "I'll pass the message along," Kane assured him. "Take it easy, Jazz." "Yeah, I'll do my best." Turning, Jazz made his way back into the crowd. Jazz wasn't in the mood for more games. He'd already forgone his normal weekend attire of cut-off jeans and bare feet for boots, denim, a dark t-shirt, and a knife tucked in his boot. There was a warning brewing in his senses, one he'd become acquainted with years ago and never ignored. He was ready if trouble came, but trouble hadn't entered the scene yet. Just the awareness of it. The certainty that it was headed his way, in the form of the slight shadow he barely glimpsed that followed him from the side of the hill, rising above the clearing. Using the trees for cover, shielding herself in darkness, she was making her way to him. And he was waiting for her. The little schoolteacher was no slouch either. She'd had practice, and she'd obviously had a good teacher at one time. There were several occasions over the past weeks that she'd reminded him of the past. She reminded him of the past, and that was something he didn't want to delve into at the moment. So much so that he had half a mind to ditch Cord's meeting and just go the hell home. Right after he confronted his little schoolteacher. He couldn't just stay in one place and let all those simpering, flirting women come to him, could he? Oh, hell no. Romeo Lansing had to be in the middle of the crowd, where those simpering little twits had an excuse to rub all over him. She'd heard the rumors that he was a hound dog when she returned to Loudon, but believing it was something else. You would think watching those women rub over him like cats in heat would be enough proof. The fact that her best friend, Jessie Coulter, had told her more than once about Jazz's inability to form a lasting relationship with a woman was just further proof. But she remembered the 23-year-old he had been 10 summers before, the year she turned 17. Popular, wild as the wind, and as charming as any